Hey, we're live. Hey, what's up? Jessie and I'm Jared. This is and we're having date night, and we want to kind of ask some questions, bounce some things back and forth. But she would like for you to know before we get started that the thumb is not her favorite.
I hate that.
Why does it bother you?
I look deranged.
Match, and you look interesting. You look like you're very intensely looking at.
Angry or something. I just feel like there's better pictures.
I think we could all agree that you look bad if you tried. I think that's an established thing here on this channel. But tonight, I have questions for Jessie. She has a couple questions for me. Hopefully, you guys have a couple of questions, and we will get into it. But first, she doesn't know this, and I want to tell her right here, right now. I added a portion to our Buy Me a Coffee. We have bought her out for 3 weeks. We were going to do maybe like once a month, but you guys pitched in, bought her a bunch of coffees, enough for, I'd say, 3 date nights. It's 3 because we have a meal next Friday, and we won't be live next Friday. So we'll pick up maybe weekly after that. It just depends on if there's money in the bank. But here's what I did. Here's what I surprised her with. I added a membership part to our Buy Me a Coffee. And here's what I want to do. I want to put like our finances. just I wish you could zoom in on her face right now. I want to put like our finances. I want to put like our philosophy on giving. I want to break down stuff like our heart towards like philanthropy and that sort of stuff. Like as we get our finances in order, I want to post all that stuff, and I also want to post all the stuff that like you don't want to do any of that.
No, absolutely not.
We're doing it.
We're not posting our budget.
Posting our budget.
No.
I love that. I wish that somebody would do that.
There's absolutely no reason that anybody needs to see that.
There's every reason somebody needs to see that.
We can do a pie chart.
I get so much. No, we're going to do real numbers. Let's talk it out. Let's hammer it out. Why do you not want people to see real numbers?
Why would they need to? There's no need for people to see that.
Because whenever it's abstract, I feel like you're disconnected, and you think to yourself, I could never save, or I could never get out of debt, or I could never say like an actual car payment, like what we pay on our actual car, that's transferable, or like land payments and house payments, and like I think it's encouraging.
We can do a pie chart.
Why? But why? Well, like whenever it's abstract, like we spend 30% on X,
I just feel like it opens yourself up for demonic attacks. I just do.
So I've got it behind a membership veil, basically, is what I'm calling it, and it's expensive. It's like $15 a month or something like that, which I may take it up just in case, because I really want to do this, but I don't want to share this. I don't want to put pearls before swine. Sorry, not swine. Nobody watching out here is swine, but like I wanted to know this stuff. I wanted to know like what's a philosophy behind giving, not just a teaching, not just like a pastoral rant on something, but like, what do you actually do with tithing, and then what do you do beyond? Like, how do we really walk that sort of stuff out? So, anyway, I think we'll make some videos on it.
I feel like we can talk about that, but I do not want to put the numbers of our budget online. I just don't. I don't think that anybody needs that.
Oh yeah. Okay. So why don't you guys leave it in the comment for any of you who are here? Good evening, David.
I feel like
leave it in the comments. Would you be interested? Let's just let them decide. We'll talk it through. I'm not saying we're forced on it, but just maybe.
No.
Okay.
No.
I'm glad that you're even entertaining the idea, because it's already up on the site. So here's the thing. Would you be interested in like just average numbers of things, or I think it means more if it's specific. Just opening up our lives. It's definitely not a brag. If you know our finances, it's definitely not a brag. So it's just real. It's as transparent as we can possibly be.
I just feel like the people who would want to see it are just nosy, is what I think.
Okay, so I followed this YouTuber family, and they weren't believers, but they were kind of tracking towards that direction. It was interesting to me because they used a bunch of language like that, and they would talk about like it was kind of like part of that money mustache. I can't remember what that guy's name was, but anyway, he's like a YouTuber personality type, but Mr. Money Mustache or something. Anyway, his whole deal was retiring by 30, and this family wanted to be financially free, meaning that they could do pretty much what they wanted to do with their lives by like 30 or something like that. And they didn't hit their goal, but they posted all of their numbers, everything that they were working towards. I'm not selling you yet, am I?
No.
Everything that they were working towards all of like their investments, that sort of thing, and they gave practical numbers, and you could see where they were succeeding, you could see where they were failing, and you could honestly see the hand of God whenever they had no idea where it would they had no idea where it would come from, and he would come swooping in, and they would have like a radical turnaround one way or the other. Or whenever like financial stuff hit, or whenever they even like they got distracted on their plan that they came up with, you could just you could watch that over the months. That's that's nothing.
No.
All right, I'm on my own on this.
I don't
one.
know. I feel like.
What's up, Joshua?
I feel like that's the equivalent of like letting people in your bedroom. I don't know. It's
finances.
It's way too personal. I wouldn't want to see other people's, like our closest friends or my brothers and sisters. That is none of my business.
If they offered it.
And I feel like, honestly, I don't know if I'm strong enough not to judge them about where their finances go.
We've got so much work. Thank you. This is awesome.
You know what I mean, though?
Oh yeah.
And
I don't see what's so threatening.
And I consider myself, like, I have a close relationship with God. And, like, for someone who doesn't walk with morals or doesn't have a relationship with God, and then they get to see our finances and judge us and make decisions about us,
What do you guys think?
No.
Would you and your spouses, whether you're a husband, whether you're a wife, or maybe you don't have it, would you post your naked finances? That sounds bad, a little controversial, but you know what I mean. Would you post your naked finances to the dollar?
Nope.
For people to benefit from, to know like how you actually run your finances, or like what not to do. I think there's so much power in that.
I would be open to doing a pie chart with percentages about where our money goes, but not the dollars. Here's the thing. If someone in our church came up to us and said...
Our salaries are public. Oh, sorry, go ahead.
If someone in our church came up to us and said, I'm trying to set up my budget, can I see yours so that... Because I want to live a life like you, whatever. This is totally hypothetical.
That's
if
fantastic.
One
First of
person...
all, awesome.
If one person came to us and said, I need your help, I want to model my finances like your finances, can I see yours? Sure, absolutely. One person, one-on-one, we're talking about everything. It's not just thrown out into the internet abyss for everyone to just see. I don't like it.
I don't like it.
No. There was something you and Joshua were talking about in Vlogmas or something, and not this time, but last time. What was it? I can't remember what the question was, but Joshua basically said, I wouldn't answer this for the masses. I would answer this for one-on-one. Same. Copy, paste.
So that being said, that's why it's behind like a wall of putting skin in the game. So this is like a membership thing. So it's like an ongoing membership package to be able to see, because they are interested, because they do have stake in the game, because they do want to know. That's like a second level.
I would do percentages. I would be okay with percentages. Final answer.
I love you. All right, I'm going to ask you my first question of the night. We'll get into State of the Union, because obviously tonight, the State of the Union is strong.
Well, I'm glad to see that Joshua's with me on this, because that is like
What did Joshua say?
It's like nakey nake.
Nakey Nate, what did he say? He says, I'm with Jessica on this one. Too much of an opportunity for people to stumble by either passing judgment or fear of missing out. I'm so on the opposite page in this. In a discipleship context, sure. Behind that, nope.
Yeah.
I disagree entirely with both of you.
Absolutely.
I really do.
Joshua, you get me.
The people like me out there who are just inspired to be like, to get out of a rut, to have actual tangible numbers and go, I think I can do that. Or I think I can trust God with that. These people are trusting God with the numbers, the actual digits, the ones and zeros. Now, okay, here's my first, we'll get off of that one. Here's my first question of the night. Look, if I don't have agreement with you, we're not going to do it. Obviously, I'll pull it down. But it was just something I wanted to spring on you because that's my style. How do you feel about your church selling today? It's been a part of your life for pretty much the entirety of your life. I mean, today was closing. We closed with the folks who
By closing, he means the contract. We didn't close the church.
No, yeah. No. We weren't. Sorry, there's a little bit of confusion from last week's live stream. No, we're not closing. Grace Fellowship isn't going anywhere. We are moving. We may be nomadic. We may have a building. That's all to be determined. But the actual physical building sold after one day day and a half, something like that, of being on
Yep.
the market?
How
we close
do
on
I
that?
feel about it?
How do you feel?
I don't. I think I've had. I don't think it's caught up to me yet. Either that or I've compartmentalized or something because.
Is it a non-factor?
Yeah, kind of.
Why?
I don't know.
You grew up there.
I know.
Like, you guys were shoved into a room. There was Sunday school
I know.
every
literally, I
every
was
week.
baptized there.
You've spent a seventh of your life at least up there.
We were married there a seventh.
I don't know.
I would say 5/7. I met my closest friends, my best friends, who I consider sisters there. We're still friends. We would be up there for hours after church waiting for our parents to be done talking. And then now we're the people that are there talking after, we've seen it all.
Come full circle, huh?
Yeah, like one of my best friends that, she was there when we were little and they moved away, but they came back and she has her family there. And it's just neat to have been the kids and then now be the adult. And I don't know, it's really neat, but I feel like, I feel like the chapter's over, at that building.
Is it because you are so, the Lord said, and that's what we do?
Yeah, maybe, probably. I'm trying to figure it out because maybe it's because I don't really get attached to buildings necessarily. I am a sentimental person. I'm very sentimental. I still have the shirt that I was wearing when Jared came home from his deployment.
And you.
And stuff like that. I'm very sentimental. Doesn't fit, but I have it.
Same.
I don't know if I'm just not sentimental about the building or if it's because it just seems right.
Yeah.
It just seems like it's time. This was not all of a sudden. This is something we've been praying about for years.
It's just funny because if you were an outsider to the actual structure, you would say, pitch gasoline on that pig and light the match. Literally burn the ships. Nobody's going to be in that thing. But it means something. I hate to say there's something about a building, but when it's been a part of your life for years, a lot of my spiritual encounters, which we've talked about over and over, but a lot of my spiritual encounters were in that building. Mm-hmm. I met people that changed my life in that building. I've been prayed over time and time again. Most importantly, God has ripped back layers of the onion and put things in that I needed in that building. I remember just phases of seeing people healed or delivered, and it's just a spot, but it's a very sentimental spot. So I was curious about that.
So how do you feel about it?
How do I feel about it?
Yeah.
That's how I feel. I feel like I'm excited. I think I was telling you this today. I'm excited. I have a childlike anticipation because God's leading us on something and it's going to be really cool. And here we go. We're going out to the desert type of thing. But I think there's a little sadness as well. There's a little I really like sentimentality. I really like that place.
I'm wondering if when we move out, take all our stuff out and close the doors, I bet I'll have a good cry sesh.
Good cry sesh?
I bet I will.
I don't know, man. We'll
Just
probably
saying
be
goodbye.
I don't know why. I just can't stop crying.
There's this picture. I'm really thankful because we have an awesome photographer in our church. And she took a picture of the church with the sun beaming down on it.
Yeah, we've got
and then
that.
We had a new sign and had Jared's name on it. And we were so excited because that was, anyway.
A transitional period in the churches. Yeah.
And she printed it on canvas for us and got it framed. And it's a beautiful picture. And we have that picture.
Yeah.
And then we have another picture that I'm thinking about doing on a canvas now that we're saying goodbye. But it's Easter, maybe 2 years ago.
Oh, yeah.
I love that picture.
Oh,
It's Jared and I sitting on the stairs, embracing one another, sitting together or whatever. And there is chaos.
And that was that's so...
It's so perfect.
Perfect for our crew because we're in the middle, focused on one another, and somebody's taking a picture. So they say, "Hey, look over here." So
we're smiling for the picture.
We're smiling, and there's just a blizzard of eggs and confetti and kids. and everybody's draped off in their family units and hollering at one another. It's a beautiful
I
picture.
love
One of
that
my
picture. I
favorites
think
of
it's
all
our
time.
cover photo on Facebook.
Is
But
it?
that's my favorite picture. I just feel like it encompasses everything that is grace.
Yeah, and also it's representative of a time when it was just a building. Like nobody cared. It was just like we got by. Nobody cares about the stupid building. So this fell off, or there were ceiling fans and shop lights in it. Nobody cared. It wasn't about the building. It was about God.
Family.
All right, let me ask you question number 2. Or do you have one for me? Did you get 3?
No, I didn't get the homework assignment.
Okay, well then I'll ask you our
I'm
3.
really sorry.
We'll chat with Joshua as he pipes in here if anybody else
really
does.
sorry.
And then we will roll out. So what role do you believe? Because I've been kind of trying to focus in on it's not the church for us, obviously, the building, but it is the church. So what role does the church play in your world, like today, and what role do you think it should play, and like in that our relationship?
That's a really good question. From the beginning, no.
In the beginning, I mean,
kidding.
beyond what church, like the definition of a
No,
church.
yeah.
But, like, tangibly, what does it do for us, and
Like,
how
why do I
operate
go?
in it? Yeah, like, I mean, because like it has a function. I've just been kind of thinking through this. It has a function. It gives something to me. It gives me community. It gives me friendship. It gives me acceptance. It gives me a group of. I'm answering your question here. Sorry.
Yeah. That's okay.
I'll shut up.
No, I think we have the same answer, so it's fine.
Well, I want to hear yours.
I've gone through times in my life where I didn't know if I was going to church just because that was the thing to do. And so I've really gone through phases where I'm really questioning what are my motives for going to church.
Like if you weren't the pastor's wife,
yeah,
what would you do?
Because first I was a pastor's kid, and you going, and then once we got older, like 16, we had the choice. But and then I married a pastor, and you're going. So I not always, but I go through phases where
I drag you. I drag you up there.
No, well, that's the thing. Like, I want to go every Sundays for church. On Sundays, we go to church and we go to lunch and then we come home and we chill out. Like, that's just what we do. I think that my car would just go to church on Sunday, you know?
Yeah.
And so I've a few times in my life wondered, why do I like really want to go? What are my motives behind going? If I wasn't married to a pastor, would I go? And the answer is yes. Obviously, I mean, I think if at my core that I didn't want to be there, that our marriage would be different. But the answer is yes. I do really want to go, and what I get there is family. I get real relationships. I get people who are going to tell me when I'm wrong. I get people who are going to pray for me when I'm down. I get people who are going to celebrate my victories and really celebrate. I remember I graduated with my master's during COVID. It was May 2020.
Oh, yeah.
And so May 2020, very shortly after the March shut down. And so it was August. It was August.
It was hot.
Yeah, it was August. So it was a little bit later, but still 2020. And people were still shut down. People were still not, going anywhere, doing anything. And so it was I did get to walk the stage, but it was kind of a smaller affair type thing. But my family, my church family, my real family showed up.
Yeah.
And that was so meaningful to me to have people there rooting for me. And then our elder texts, our elder goes to work at 4:00 in the morning, 3, 4.
Yeah, Elder
really,
Jubal.
really early. And so he goes to bed really early. He texted us when the graduation was over, which was 9 or 10, and said, I want you to come over. I've got watermelon and coffee. And I'm like, oh my gosh, that's so sweet. And he stayed up.
That's such a Texas
It
thing.
was really sweet.
Coffee.
He stayed up super late. He made all of us coffee. We ate watermelon in the front yard, juicy watermelon, bent over,
In the dark.
In the dark. Awesome. It was so much fun. That's why I go to church. Because of people like that. And I mean, obviously, they're God people.
Yeah.
It's not, they're just people. They're God people. They're seeking after God the same way I am, if not more. And we do life together. And it's nice.
Yeah, I would agree. I would say the same thing. I was just thinking like, so what's your like? The point was like, if we I keep saying like, sorry, babe. If we were left to our own selves, there's been a couple of times where I've wondered, what's the point? You know, like when you're going and you're kind of, because not all of the relationships all of the time are fuzzy, and it's family, and you fight, and like we're still, in the mix of all that stuff. I can't remember how many times, but it's been multiple where it's just been a tough go, and we show up and people are still there loving on us. And like you were talking about, like the hard times or the rough times of friction, when somebody's been like, you're off, man.
Yeah.
Like you're absolutely off. I don't think you can find that anywhere else where there's the depth of relationship and somebody can say you're off. Or you're as, I know you're not into the whole financial thing, like what we were talking about at the beginning of the show. You're not willing to put our finances out on the interwebs. But we're in a way, we're in relationship with other people who are looking into our marriage and saying, something something can be tweaked, or we noticed when we were out with you the other night, we allowed them access to speak into us. I don't think there's any other relationship like that in the world. I mean, if it's a coworker, it'd be like, dude, back up. What's your what's your beef?
We are able.
Who are you? Home skillet, get out of here.
We're safe and able to be completely open and transparent with the people in our church, in our finances, in our marriage, in our personal lives. Like, we lay it all out there. And sometimes it ain't pretty.
They're also the only ones that, like on like the active side, they're also the only ones who are saying, let's, for instance, this whole building thing, let's do it. Let's sell this building because we feel like God is saying to burn the ships and head towards a more refined form of faith for us. And we're supposed to be a flagship type ministry in this community. They're willing to put their money and their reputations. Dairy fly.
Oh, okay.
And their money and their reputations where their mouth is.
Yeah.
All right, cool.
Yeah.
Anyway, I wanted to know that. I was curious about it. Let's scroll up here and get some questions. I think Josh was saying it's okay to be wrong every now and then, Jared. In this case, you're wrong. He's false. Let's see if we can block Joshua from the comments. My wife and I, this is David. He says, my wife and I have had this chat a lot, especially seeing people take Sundays off. Yeah. Joshua says, okay, back to the full, what does it say?
Monty.
Oh, full Monty of, that's like monthly of finances? I missed an H and an L. What? Full Monty, I got you, of finances. If you want to really help people by showing them the path, keep it focused on principles and strategies. Totally disagree. That would mean percentages and philosophies. When you give specifics, people become like Pharisees and make rules that shouldn't be there or get hung up on things that they shouldn't.
Agreed.
I hear your point. You're entirely wrong for not the entirety of people, but for people like me, I need to see specifics. But Jared and Jessica spend money on blank, so we need to spend money on blank if we want to have a relationship like them. Totally false, because we all know that copy-paste type stuff doesn't work.
No, I do think people are going to do that, or they're going to say, Jared and Jess save this amount of money a month, and we should be doing that too. Well, maybe you don't make the same amount of money as we do. Maybe you make more, or maybe you make less. I just feel like they would be focusing on the wrong thing if we give them exact numbers. I think if we focus on principles and strategies and how God leads us in our finances, that's a better thing to follow than a specific example.
Wives and
Just
their
saying.
rationale.
Just saying.
I understand. But otherwise, how do we get everybody pointed towards Dave Ramsey's of this world? And they just like, I like Dave Ramsey because he's all about strategies and philosophies. And I would follow to an extent a certain basic realm of what he does. But what really revs my engine is whenever people say, this is what I'm doing with it. I don't feel enslaved to do what they do, but I'm inspired whenever I see them putting practicality in their finances and transparency in that to work towards something. I don't know. Maybe I stand on my own iceberg on this.
I think it's a rare case.
Hey, you wonderful Browns. This is from Dustin. You wonderful Browns. Sorry I'm late. Came in a deep one tonight. I see. Yeah, cranked it off by firing off a shot that Jessie wasn't on board with. and she's wrong, so we're going to get through that. What kind of surprises do you want me to send y'all? Oh my, yeah. So he's referencing surprises. Joshua did a live stream this week where it was all about surprises. Somebody had sent him something. It turned out to be Dustin sent him like a potty coffee mug type thing. It was hilarious.
When he said when he posted the story about not opening until Wednesday, I thought, oh, Jared sent him something.
No.
And
I thought for sure it was John.
Yeah.
Or Dustin.
Well, I didn't get to pop into the live because I had a meeting, but that was really very clever.
It was
Love
hilarious.
that.
It was absolutely hilarious. Joshua says, unrelated to that, what's the plan in the transition ship's been burnt stage, home church style? Yeah, that is ongoing. So what's beautiful, and I'm learning in these last couple of days, and we may have mentioned this before to you, but I don't have to have all of the answers. I think we're heading more towards a home church style, host families of hospitality, and then ministry teams inside of those homes, having different geographical locations where people go to and worship on a Sunday, whilst incorporating some common teaching. So like having a meeting throughout the week where we have all the church leaders together, the ministry leaders together, and are pouring from a common teaching, as well as live streaming stuff on Sundays. So what we were kicking around was going to a house, not doing anything super profesh in the live stream, but just getting the live stream out, and then making some videos throughout the week. So there is one common core teaching, but the leaders of each house church are geared up and ready around the same material, so that if the stream goes down, they're able to share what we've been hearing together to the house church. And so we've got a couple of those getting ready. Hopefully that works out, but that might get checked in lieu of that whole temple meeting type thing. I don't know. I think it's going to end up being a hybrid of all of those, but our elders really don't want us to go into house churches. They came out of house churches. They don't want to go back to house churches. So they want to have a common place to meet. And so they are pushing with finances and their authority to do that. And we'll see what happens. We're going to meet together and seek the Lord this next week, Lord willing, and hopefully have some more revelation on what we're supposed to be doing specifically
like
for grace. Yeah. Oh, yeah, like rent.
Yeah.
Are we even doing that? I mean, do we still have some time left on the place that we're in? But that's all structural stuff. I'm trying to figure out in the future of ministry for Grace Fellowship, are we more home church relational, or are we more, traditional?
I do feel like God wants Grace Fellowship to look different.
Yeah, we're still finding out what that is.
And we still have no idea what that is.
Yep.
And so far, the things that we have thought of are not different. They've been done before. And so it's like, it's close.
And it's not different for the sake of being different.
Right,
it's just
right.
like, if we're supposed to burn the ships of our previous ministry and style, then what is he inventing in us, or what does he want us to shift over to? What does he want us to incorporate? And that's the part that we're still asking on. And that's where I was saying the strength comes in, because I don't know is a legitimate answer. Mm-hmm. I mean, it's definitely taxing on the congregation, because the congregation wants to know.
Yeah.
Like, we want to be there. We want to be in the promised land. We want to be functioning at a high level already. But we're still being pulled out of the old system, and we still need to meet with the Lord. If you've ever read the book of Exodus, which most of you have, that's kind of where we are as a church. We're trying to figure out, okay, we're coming out of something. We need to meet with the Lord, figure out what he's going to reveal, our new path to walk in, our new 10 commandments type of thing, and roll out. There's a lot of mixed metaphors there, but hopefully that answers the question.
Why is that being held for review?
What did he, because he said something naughty. He said something naughty.
He said tithing.
I've
How
had
dare
too many
you.
people think that tithing is a literal 10%, and many who can't afford 10% give nothing, and those who can afford 50% will only give 10%. Yeah, all sorts. Here, how do I show this? I don't care. Show it. Boom.
Why would that
Look at
be
that.
helpful?
Let you back in the
That's weird.
chat, son. All right. There's a few others, but let's let's ask you your last question. Oh, and it's very fitting because it didn't go well. Do you like talking about finances with me?
No.
So here's where she loses all credibility. What you guys don't know, you're saying, oh, we don't want to talk about percentages and tithing and all this. Little hidden gem, she doesn't like talking finances at all.
Because I feel like every married couple knows this is one of the hot topics.
Yeah, so diffuse
For
it. Come hit it
Couples.
straight
Like,
on.
it's not that we disagree in our finances. It's like we don't understand what the other is saying.
That's why you talk.
And I feel like a lot of times we're saying the same thing, but things get heated because we don't understand them, and then we talk very clearly.
It starts talking
and
like this.
loudly.
What I am saying,
What
what I hear you saying is it's a mess.
And so, like, the more we misunderstand each other, the more, like, condescending it becomes a little bit.
Okay.
No, what I am saying is, like, don't come at me like that.
I don't know why she treats me like that. That's the end of the story.
We sometimes disagree on finances. I don't feel like we fight about finances. I feel like we don't understand each other.
Yeah. I think, so you are an excellent saver, and you're very disciplined in the areas that you steward. Mm-hmm. But I like to try new things, mm-hmm. and I like to figure out a better way to run our finances. And whenever I shift, I wouldn't say you like those moments so much.
Mm-mm. I've got a plan, and we're doing the plan.
And we're working the plan.
And then Jared's like, no, over here. And I'm like, but you just told me that we were going to do this. You just told me. And so I called our financial guy. I got everything set up. And now the things are doing the things.
Yeah.
And now you want to go over here and do this.
Yeah.
But you just told me that we should do this.
Stand by that.
This is what
I stand by
happens
that.
with our finances.
We start talking like this is our difference in the way that we think, because you do percentages and pie graphs and stuff like that, or pie charts and stuff
mm-hmm.
like that, and I like to talk exact numbers. And when we get into, I don't know, for some reason when we get into that, it gets weird, doesn't it? Because when we do a budget, it's like we can't do a budget.
Nope.
We're going to have to break off the spiritual stronghold of whatever guards that budget.
It's not even that we disagree about where the money should go. And if for some reason we do disagree, we pray about it and we get on the same page. So it's not really that. It's just we don't speak the same language. Our minds run differently.
What do you mean?
I'm very linear in my thinking.
Yeah.
You're very creative.
Adaptive. I am.
I can't handle it.
Thank you for that honor.
I can't handle it. And he can't handle my rigidity.
Nah.
Like,
I'm like, just adjust.
No.
We have a bit of new information.
For me, when
adjust.
I set a path, like, that's the path. And I will not go off the path. And so for him to come in and say, over here, I'm like, no.
I also have a little bit of FOMO. It's not really FOMO, but like I have a hard time picking a path. What's that called? Commitment issues. I have mild commitment issues.
Not much.
I think I'm good as far as it, but I have other ideas that I might possibly want to do. So I like to stay flexible. So I'm waiting to make the decision a little bit later than she would like, because she's like to plug those money numbers in there.
Yeah, that's a good one.
So do you like talking finance?
No.
I love it. I don't know why you won't talk finance with me. You realize it shapes a lot of our future.
Yes, here's my thing. There's been so many times where we have nitpicked, strained over gnats on our finances. There were years when we didn't make any money. And the money we did make was sporadic. And so we had to be very disciplined with our money. And so we've lived in times like that. What is that?
I don't know. Yeah, I'll make it go away.
And we've also lived in times where we don't have to live like that. And in either case, we've been fine. We're always fine.
Yeah.
We always get to buy groceries every week. Mm-hmm. We always pay our electricity. We always pay our,
Hallelujah.
I know you're making fun of me,
I'm
but
not making fun of that. And I want to be able to just be stupid generous.
yeah.
I want to be able to take other people's kids and put them to college. I want to be able to like really do
Okay,
some
Michael
things.
Scott.
You're a mess. Get out of here.
You're gonna get
You're a mess.
when they're 18, you're gonna have promised them
Whatever.
scholarships,
All right, we're
and you're not
done.
gonna have
I'm done
anything.
with you. You are cut off.
Read
All right,
our commies.
we're answering questions, and that's it. And I'm gonna go to bed sulky.
Gonna go night night.
No, I'm gonna go watch Justice League.
Gonna
The
go
last
night,
hour.
night.
Wow, Snyder cut Justice League. Just throwing out a plug right
Oh,
now.
it's so good.
It is a different ballgame.
I was not on board with this because I'm like, dude, we've seen the movie.
We've
It
seen it.
wasn't good.
How much different could it be?
So much better. So much
It's
better.
a different movie. I mean, it's a total. I think they've reused a handful of scenes. That's it. The whole thing
So
is
much better.
awesome. Okay, so what is your leadership structure like? We are an elder-run church.
Mm-hmm.
It takes a whole lot to vote a pastor out, kind of a thing. We are a fivefold ministry, so we have two streams coming in. What I mean by that is we have a revelatory side that comes in that is apostolic, prophetic. You know, what is the voice of the Lord saying to the churches and to our church in particular? And we have a governance side, which is the elders. They make decisions on what are the finances, where do we stay in a building, small groups, that type of thing. And so it's kind of like a checks and balance type system, where if one of them's off, the other one better step up and be willing to humbly correct. So that, Lord willing, both of them are back on and we're functioning fully. So we have that type of system. What if Pastor Jared delivered a vlog-style sermon, because Joshua is, and you get some home-based small groups to fellowship and discuss with watch parties?
Yeah, we've
yes
talked
and
about
amen,
it.
except there's no more watch parties. So we've moved entirely over to YouTube, finally. We've been doing Facebook, live stream, and all that stuff for a while. And I'm just tired of all of the issues that it brings. I'm just going to start posting to YouTube. YouTube's a video first platform. We're going to go there. We have a lot of folks who aren't even on Facebook anymore because of all the political nonsense and just the chaos that Facebook brings. So we are transitioning over to YouTube. But yeah, I agree. That's definitely a possibility and a probability in the next coming days. Find a park, set up some lawn chairs, hop in the bed of a pickup, and start preaching. That is so appropriate for here. I can't tell you how many churches went to a flatbed trailer during the COVID thing, whatever they call it, pandemic. Carlos, what's up, man? Says, come, bro, just keep going strong. Yeah, man. I'm really not. It's been a beautiful thing. I think I have episodes of panic where I'm like, oh, is God gonna help us out? You know, like, is God gonna do what God does? I mean, He told us to come out. Is He gonna lead us now? And I have episodes of that, but for the most part, I'm really resting in, I don't know, and my weakness is His strength, almost like it's biblical. So Joshua says, no, quotation marks from Jessica Brown. Yeah, welcome to my marriage. This is the real of it. That is probably the word that I hear the most, and not in a derogatory way, not a slam against her. That wouldn't you say? Jesse, do you want to? No.
The other night, I was asleep, but he falls asleep later than I do. He dropped something on the night table. I don't know what it was. And in my sleep, I said, no.
No. Okay. Yep. Finances is a spicy topic. That is true. Carlos says, what I am saying is stop buying lenses. You don't need another one. Are you talking to me? I renounce that.
What?
I renounce those lies. I don't know who he's talking to. If he's talking to me, get out of here. That's totally true. I just got through buying a whole set of lenses to upgrade all this stuff, and I haven't used 2 of them hardly at all. So my big 12 to 24 G Master that was more than it should have been. I haven't used that since I got the 24. But I used the 70 to 200 the other day on a job. Oh my word. If I only use it 3 more times, it's worth every penny. Oh.
That has
Oh.
him having the business, the video business, and it has a separate bank account of its own, has saved our marriage.
I think that's too far. I think we'd have been
Because
okay, but it did cause a
he
little.
bought all those lenses. Guess how much I care? Guess how much?
That's how much.
None. I mean, I care.
No.
I care because I like that he has the lenses and I'm happy for him, but financially, I don't care.
And it frees me up to do
It
what I
does.
need to do for the
It
business.
does.
It's awesome.
He's
Does
like,
the business need a new drone? Yes, it does.
he's like, hey babe, I think I'm
Does
gonna
it
buy
need
it. I'm
FPV
like, yeah,
drone?
sure. I don't care. I think I'm gonna buy it. Don't care.
FPV's wrong.
Yeah, sure. I was the one saying at the beginning of this year when we had our business meeting, I was saying, you're gonna need a new drone.
Why did we have a business meeting together?
It's part of our LLC.
Yes, but are you a part of the LLC?
Yeah.
What part?
51%. I tricked Jared.
That's a messed up story. Well, the husband is commanded to live with your wives in an understanding way. What does Jessie say? No. So I say Jared needs to work harder to understand you and help you understand him. No.
Yes.
All right, Dustin. What does Dustin say? He says, we make it simple in our 20 years of marriage. I'll mess it all up so Danielle handle all the finances. Oh, yeah. And what's Danielle's is Danielle's, and what's mine is Danielle's too. It's simple. My man, you've been married for a few days.
Yep.
You got this. I'm still fighting a little bit. I don't know why. I tend to think that I've got a couple clever ideas. By the way, I'm in Bitcoin right now for anybody interested. 1 Peter 3:7, for reference sake. Nope. Carlos C. What's Carlos say? Saying my wife is the CFO and Treasury Department of our family. All joking aside, and I'm picking on her tonight because it's fun for me. But she handles all finances. I would be up a creek. I wouldn't know what was going on with bills. I wouldn't know anything. She handles all of like the logistical side, the administrative side of where the dollars and cents go. Handles all of it. I'm more dabbling on like the investment side, the what if we did this with that side, and
The leftovers.
the leftovers, and it drives her bonkers.
1 Peter what?
Let me go back up.
3:7.
I'm gonna handle these. You look that up. David Rowland, I think I know what that means, but we'll see. I would lean towards sharing the finances while my wife would keep it private. I'm the same, David. We'll see. We'll see what happens. We'll see what comes out of it.
1 Peter 3:7. In the same way, you husbands must give honor to your wives. Treat your wife with understanding as you live together. She may be weaker than you are, but she
Weaker
is your equal
mentally,
partner
physically.
in God's gift of new life. Treat her as you should, so your prayers will not be hindered.
Yeah, I remember. Hey, get out of here. All right. I do agree with your sentiment, though, Jared. Seriously, love the heart behind it, but wrong approach. We're just gonna have to scroll through some of Joshua's here. I'm
read
getting
them
ready
all.
to watch
Love
it, and I didn't watch the first because everyone else said it was a trash fire. Now, here's the deal. I think you should watch the first.
So you can appreciate
So you
the
can
second.
appreciate.
Yeah.
I don't even know. No, I'm going to stick with that. I think you should
Yeah.
watch the trailer, the theatrical trailer, the one that J.J. Abrams made first, because it's okay, and you're like, it's a little campy.
Yeah.
It was kind of bad. I felt like there should have been more story development, and then come back in and watch the Snyder Cut, and just like.
It's really good.
I mean, granted, it's a different movie, but I had no idea that they filmed as much as they did.
Yeah.
I mean, it's the illustration of how, we'll film a vlog or a bit, and it'll be condensed down to like 3 minutes, but there's really an hour and a half, or maybe 4 minutes. There's an hour and a half of footage
Or
behind
a
it.
wedding. Like, we film a wedding for 8 hours, and then we cut it down to a 5-minute video.
They went and they had to make these scenes. They had to act through all these situations. They made so much, and just a different edit on it makes the world of difference.
I was
It's
telling
amazing.
Jared, I was like, I'm so curious. If I learned ever to edit, I'm so curious if he and I had the same wedding footage.
We're gonna do it.
I bet we would make totally
We're going to do it.
different videos.
And I'll tell you why.
I bet we would.
We're going to do it. And I'll tell you why. Because I really want you to learn how to edit.
I know you do. I'm just really
I just
busy.
need you to help.
I'm
That's
just so busy. I can't.
Okay. Carlos says, bro, I'm going to have to come visit your church. Man, yeah. We'll have to figure out what we're doing for church.
Tell you where it's at.
Tell you where to go.
On a weekly basis.
It's super hush-hush. It's on the underground. You got to come find us. It's part of like the fun. You gotta figure out the decipher. It's going to be national treasure, but finding Grace Fellowship. That was a play on the last thing y'all talked about. Yeah, okay, I got you. Amy says, yay, we got here live. We got y'all live.
Yay!
Probably an intense one. We went crossways today, so it got fairly deep, but we're
We
starting
had
to
a
come
bit
out
of a disagreement.
a bit of a disagreement on finances, of all things. Who'd have thunk it?
Yeah.
Okay, not caring about gear, separate account would be nice. I would have paid our mortgage off if I hadn't bought all of this gear. No joke. Yeah, but you're also, see, here's where we go different philosophies. You're also investing in something that's going to create you revenue in the future. You're developing a ministry and a skill that's going to, pay off your mortgage eventually.
Yeah.
You know this. That's why you did it. You wouldn't put your family in a bad situation.
Jason at church has really pushed my boundaries on.
He pushes my buttons too.
Yeah, on the way he runs his business. He's the sole provider.
Yep.
She stays home with the kids, which is a more than full-time job.
Yep.
And he has his own business. He mows lawns, and it used to drive me nuts, but now I understand. But he puts basically every extra source of income they would have, whether it be the STEMI or taxes back or whatever.
That's that Biden hush money. She didn't want to say
Yeah, the Biden
name.
hush money. Into the business. It's like, what if your wife wanted some of that, or what if you had to whatever? But it makes sense because he bought nicer mowers, nicer whatever, was able to get an employee, was able to take more yards, able to get more business, and he's able.
Now it's a thing.
And now it's a thing. He's growing his business because he takes all that extra money and puts it into the business, and the business makes his family of 6.
Off of cutting grass.
Alpha cutting grass. He's one person. He supports 6 people. It's pretty impressive.
It's impressive.
And of course, she's a rock star with a budget. The way that girl buys groceries.
I know. She can take 5.
I'm like,
and
you
turn
can
it
have
into
an entire
500.
YouTube channel about how you buy groceries. She's telling me her weekly budget for her groceries for 6 people.
Yeah.
I'm like, I spend that every day.
What percentage was that?
I don't know.
Yeah, you don't know because she told you exact dollar
'Cause
amount
we're
so you
best
could
friends.
appreciate
Because we're
how you
best
stretch
friends.
a dollar and what is possible with a dollar. And it right? Because you got the exact number, you go,
Yeah.
man, I'm both challenged and inspired by that.
And also, I cannot do that.
So do you feel shame because you can't
Yeah.
stretch a dollar?
I feed-
Get out of here.
I feed 2 people
out of here.
for 3 times the amount that she feeds 6 people.
Get out of here. Okay, so you and Joshua are in your own way of thinking. I'm on mine. I'm going to embrace it. Carlos says, Jared, you need to pick up a crane. If you mean a bird, possibly. If you mean a gimbal, I have a crane too, and it is super heavy. I
Oh
would
my
assume
gosh.
you're teasing me because that
So
thing,
heavy. I can't pick it up. I mean, I can pick it up, but I can't use it.
It's a monster. That's part of. Remember we were talking about elbows. I think it was last week. And by the way, thank you guys for praying for my elbows. They feel so much better, so much better.
I forgot
feel like-
that was a thing.
I
You haven't
know.
said anything about it.
Because they're healing up. I felt it a little bit. I went out yesterday whenever I was filming. I felt it a little bit in this elbow. But the reason that my elbows hurt, I am sure of it, is carrying that
The crane.
stupid
Yep.
crane around.
I believe it. It's so
Carlos.
heavy.
Yeah, man.
By the time you have the crane, the camera, and the lens, and the microphone,
I don't know. I'm guessing 10, 12 pounds, something
I
like
think
that.
if you were doing a short little interview or something, it might be fine. But when we do a wedding, a wedding is 9 to midnight. It's more than 8 hours, and so he's holding that thing all day. All day.
All day, son. That reminds me. I want to look on Amazon to see if they have an aftermarket. The Weeble that has that extra arm on it. I want to get one of those. Weeble?
Weebles wobbles and they don't fall down.
Oh. Let's see. Wobble with.
No.
No? Okay.
We have got to learn all the wedding dances.
Oh man, yeah, we're at so many weddings.
forgetting.
We've got Thriller in the bag. Boom. You can check out the cruise vlog for that one. Although it's getting a little rusty, you need to break that thing up.
I don't remember.
Thriller's good. All the wobbles and whatnot, I'm not so good on. All the line dance and stuff. Okay, Joshua says, yep, don't live in an understanding way. You are hindering your own prayers. I didn't say it, the Bible did. All right, let's see. How do you take down a comment? All right, Joshua says, Snyder Cut equal Vlogmas editor swap. For real, man, except like a baby editor is Josh Whedon. Kind of like, yeah. We'll leave it there. I want to be honoring towards Josh and Snyder, Zack Snyder, because they made incredible movies. I like Justice League, the original. It wasn't all that it could have been. It was a little campy, but this Snyder Cut is ridiculous. So if you're in dire straits, Joshua says, and use your stimulus money to buy baby chickens, do you get this? I don't even want to know where this is going. Do you get to say that you got your money for nothing and your chicks for free?
Ha ha.
There you go.
I like
Hey,
chickens.
speaking of, you guys probably don't know this, but we have a place called Tractor Supply. Maybe you have one, maybe you don't. Instead of having little chicken bins, which was really fun, you'd come look at them in their troughs and they run around. They have chicken racks. So you can have a rack of
like a
baby back
tower.
chicks. What?
It's a whole tower of chickies. And I was like, sir, how much would it cost for me to buy this entire tower of chickies?
Jeez.
And he said, I would pay you
So I don't have to feed these
to
stupid
take
chickens.
these chickens.
Everybody doesn't have chickens. Everybody who does have chickens knows exactly what he's talking about. All right,
so
David says,
cute.
wobble, baby. Yeah, a little bit of wobbling for you. Carlos, you retracted your message. I really wanted to see it. David says, that's right there. All right, babe, you have any final parting questions for me? No. Anything that you want to ask these guys before we head out?
Did you tell them about the coffee?
Oh.
I think they all know about it.
You guys all know about
they've
buying
all
me a
been
coffee.
on it.
So that was the deal. If you're tuning in late and you're not going to watch the restream, here's this bit of information. We've got her bought through today for sure. We're not going to be here next week. We're doing a communion Passover-esque type meal. It's going to be a lot of fun with the church next Friday here at our house. Maybe we live stream that. No. I'm just messing. I'm just messing. So we won't be here next week. But if you want to see Jessie back the next week, buy her coffee.
I would show you the ones that I got today, but I'm wearing pajama pants, so.
I don't know. It's a cat trying to get
Maybe it's
bugs.
Brendan.
No. All right, guys. Let's see. Oh, whoops. We have 3 more comments, then we're out. So just got my outdoor dog kennel from the good old Tractor Supply. Wonderful place. Highly recommend. That sounds cool. We haven't had a chicken coop in Chicago. Joshua says, David, that was a joke. Dustin told me the other day I was supposed to share. Yeah. Okay, so if you haven't seen the floating coffee hand, what do you want to call that, Josh?
Cherub?
Cherub?
Is that right? Angel?
Somebody spent 8 hours putting my face on a baby angel, and every time somebody buys Joshua a coffee, it goes floating up, and it says, it's me singing Floating Coffee Hand. Floating Coffee Hand! Ah! Like that, whatever. Anyway, it's a part of his show. You'd have to see it. It's ridiculous, but I'm honored, Joshua, and kind of taken back by how much time you spent on that thing. Anyway, that's it for us tonight, guys. We love you. The State of the Union is strong, and we will see you
In the next one,
We're
we're
out.
out.